to ask everybody in the audience to stop disrupting the meeting. If you continue to talk, you'll be removed. We'll say the woman in the white vest. We have the first warning to the woman in the white vest. This is your second warning. We'll ask the sergeants to remove her, subject under Rule 7. All right, good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. Today is the 10th day of June, a Tuesday in the year 2025. My name is Harris-Dawson. I serve as president of this council. Everyone in the chamber, please rise and follow along with Councilmember Rahman in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise, hand over your heart, turn to the flag, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. President, the council may now proceed to the presentation for prayers and calls for peaceful protests.
All right, everybody, we all have witnessed and been a part of the last 4 days in our city when we heard the first set of disturbances related to raids at a Home Depot Day Labor Center in downtown on last week. Councilwoman Hernandez showed up to the floor in tears because what was happening in her district, and that spread throughout the city and the region of Southern California. And we all saw what happened this weekend and what happened through as late as last night. Both a nonsensical, perhaps illegal, definitely disruptive, definitely chaotic, definitely counterproductive deployment of the national military to Los Angeles streets against the wishes of our police department, of our mayor, of our governor, and almost everybody else that has responsibility for safety in the streets in our city. We've also seen hundreds and thousands of people peacefully protest. We've also seen people take advantage of those protests to engage in various forms of criminality. There's been a lot of positive energy and some negative energy. This moment is for us one of those tough moments that we face in our city from time to time. Those of us who've lived here, have grown up here, know that we face these moments. We get through them, we recover through them. But we have to make sure we do so together. And so today we'll have a special meeting that'll have a number of special features, including hearing from our immigrant rights leaders, hearing from our police department, and hearing from our city attorney about what they're doing with regard to our relationship with the federal government. But we wanted to begin all of that, this conversation today, with the leadership of some of our faith leaders from around the city, from various faiths, various genders, and various traditions. And so I'm going to call the clergy up to the desk of the president and ask a few of them to lead us and start us off with a prayer on behalf of our city.
In the name of the Creator, most merciful, most gracious. My name is Umar Hakeem, in Courage Foundation. I'm in the board chair of LA Voice. We are LA Voice. We are a federation of 70 congregations, denomination partners, alongside with faith-rooted organizations like CLU, like the Episcopal Diocese, Proyecto Pastoral, Mateo 27, and partners outside of Los Angeles City are moving together in nonviolence every day. We believe we are imbued with the divine spark of human security, and we call on all federal government to de-escalate and to cease violence against our family members, community members, fellow congregants, worship leaders, garment workers, union members, and all who have been targeted. We call on all people to do their part to infuse our city, our county, our country, and protest with the power of soul force, the power of nonviolence. We must be as we want others to be, seek peace and be peaceful. We call on all people to pray for health, security, and protection for this city and over all the council members, the mayor, the council members, and all staff. We ask the Creator to bless this council, our mayor, and all of our civic leaders with the wisdom to lead. We ask a blessing on business leaders and labor leaders in this movement. And especially we ask a blessing and protection and healing over all our terrified families who have come here seeking a better life, a blessing on them, and those who love. Thinking about my mom, she came here in 1960 as an immigrant from South America, and if she wasn't given a chance, I may not be here in this situation. Back to the speech. We ask a blessing and protection and healing over all our terrified families who have come here seeking a better life, a blessing on them and those who love them and know them. Tonight, I invite you, everybody, to come tonight at Grand Park at 6 p.m. for a prayer vigil in a spirit of nonviolence, for care, and for our families. So the invitation is extended to everyone that's here to join us at 6 p.m. at Grand Park. Thank you.
Let's pray. Oremos. Lord of heaven and earth, thank you, gracias, for walking amongst us as an immigrant, for being born into a family that knew what it meant to be treated with fear, suspicion, and cruelty. You know the pain of exile, and you walk closely with those who are displaced. Thank you for the immigrants of our city, my people, mi gente, who pay taxes, sustain our economy, teach their children that every life is sacred, and invest daily in the future of our city and nation. These are people who embody American ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As a representative of the faith community, I bless our city's leadership with discernment, with understanding, with mutual understanding, and with wisdom like that of Solomon. May they lead with bold innovation and outside-the-box solutions and craft practical, fair solutions that protect and serve all Angelenos. Let us stand with moral courage and resistance, nonviolent resistance, as our ancestors did. Let us raise our voices for those who cannot speak. Let us remember the Hebrew midwives before Pharaoh. Let us remember Jesus before Pilate. Let us remember Gandhi in India. Let us remember Dr. King and John Lewis in Selma. Let us remember Oscar Romero in El Salvador. Let us remember Rosa Parks in Birmingham. Let us remember Frederick Douglass in Massachusetts. Let us remember Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez in Delano. We pray for a peace in our city that is real, local, and enduring. A peace not dependent on those far away, but rooted in our shared courage, faith, and communal solidarity. Amen.
Eloheinu velohe avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we gather today with broken hearts and yearning hearts. We stand here in solidarity with each other, people of every faith and none, every race, ethnicity, and background. Our safety is in our solidarity. We here in LA keep each other safe. We are a city of immigrants, and we are proud of that. We always have been. We grieve the removal of our family, friends, neighbors, siblings, community from the depths of our soul. We stand heartbroken, yet hopeful that a different world is possible. We stand strong, yet calm and peaceful. Our traditions have generation of nonviolent protest. They have modeled that for us in this city for as long as can remember. We stand on their shoulders. In our tradition, the word for peace, shalom, shares the same root as the word for whole, shalem. Peace only comes from wholeness. I pray for a whole Los Angeles, a peaceful Los Angeles, a Los Angeles where people can go to work and school and graduation and Home Depot and come home uneventfully, where we continue to honor and uplift the dignity of all our immigrants. Please, God, help us remember who we are. Or for you are the source of life, and in your light we too are bathed in light. Amen.
Couple more brief announcements. For those of you who are in the room, I'm sure you've seen, you may see or hear some offensive conduct or comments today or conduct today. For that, we do apologize. It does not reflect the views of this city, of this body collectively, or individually, or anyone around this horseshoe. The quickest way to get through it is through patience and to just let it play out. Again, we do apologize. If you do not want to listen, I would note that state law, the Brown Act that governs these meetings, does not require you, the members of the audience, to listen. So if you would like to step out during public comment, you're more than welcome to do so. You're also welcome to pop in headphones or do whatever you need to do. Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
I'd like to speak on all motherfucking items and report to the business of the city council in my re-election for Wayne Spindler for council
Great.
district.
This is not on the agenda. This is your first and only warning. Stick to the agenda items
All
for the
right,
first 3 minutes, or I'm going to move you to general public comment.
K here. Proposition K for kids. Kids get kicks, you know that? Set up accounts for the goddamn pursuit instructions for the goddamn administration fund for kicks and kids. All the other kids with their pumped up K's want to celebrate the grant agreements. All the other kids with a pumped up K on Proposition K. Am I on topic, dickhead? Now
You are, but you're at risk of being repetitive, so please
Item
continue.
number 3, hearing comments relative to the application for more alcohol, more consumption, and more lawlessness, more terrorism, more looting, and all this graffiti art that we must thank the mayor for, everybody. Let's get an applause from Smoke and Scan. Let's get an applause from LA Times in the report about how alcohol can affect the mental health and the ability of one black motherfucker here like me to speak about item number 3 for alcohol. Thank you, Your Honor. Look at here, number 5. Nah, he said not 5, he said 6. I don't live in 6, I'll do number 6. Oh, item number 9, CD14. CD14, street in Huntington Drive, street lighting. Well, let me shed some light with you on LA Times California section on CD14. What happened with your 2 staffers? She didn't put the lights on. They didn't put the lights on. They rather put their terrorist actions against the Popo police.
Mr. Herman, this is not on the agenda. You're welcome to speak to it during general if you'd like. You've already been warned. This is your last opportunity.
On the matter of importance. Don't deny me the protest and confirmation of assessment, nigga. I know that I'm trying to adopt the accompanying Los Angeles administrator, motherfucker. Government Code Section 53-753 for the record. Fuck the police. Now into my non-agenda public
You have 1 minute.
You racist piece of shit. Dirty, dirty, dirty nigga. Brandenburg versus Ohio. And my new authorized shirt from Cayenne West is a symbol of my dedication to the black community that I support. Cohen versus California is what I'm talking about. versus Ohio.
All right. Mr. Herman, you come to this meeting almost every day. Do not yell into the microphone. As we've explained numerous times before, we have interpreters who are wearing headphones and it goes directly into their ears. Not only is it annoying, it can actually damage their eardrums. So do not yell into the microphone. Thank you.
Speaking politely about Donald Trump and the Marines. Thank you, Donald Trump. New scum and the mayor of Los Angeles has failed all of you by line. Where are the motherfucking benefits for the illegals here? There are none. You're a bunch of racketeering criminals.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
I'd like to call up more names. Sandy Wu, Christopher Dorner, Breonna Taylor.
Thank God he's alive.
Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
So number 3, we got the big fat fuck Ulysses Hernandez, known as Hamburger Hernandez, opening up alcohol establishments so people get drunk. And what happens in City 1 when people get drunk? Well, they set fires, and they tag, and they burn, and they abuse and traffic women, all in violation of federal and state law. So on behalf of 18 U.S.C. 341, fuck number 3. And then we get to this motherfucking liquor license for CD12, represented by an FBI target, John Lee Staffer be the demon. Over there at the Liquid Party Works. There, what do we have in here? A liquid party? There's no liquid party. You get drunk, you get fucked up, and you crash your car into a pregnant woman, and then you get charged with 2 counts of vehicular manslaughter. So I'd say no to this motherfucker. Now we get to these other motherfuckers, including a closed session item over here. These LA Alliance, that's Judge Carter. Judge Carter only give you a 30-day extension to answer. Where is the $2 billion that Moni Cow Cunt Regas has been looking for? And how about that little parrot cheerleader bitch Amelda? She wants to know where the $2 billion goes. She's got 69 homeless people living by the 405. That's a poverty. What a shame. Living in squalor. People of color. I can't believe you allowing this shit to go on. But you don't care. And then we have, let's circle back to Circle K, KKK assessments for children. The children whose parents are being removed. The children who being trafficked by Ulysses Hernandez and sent over to that demon over there, Karen Price, to be trafficked on Figueroa at 77th, known as the Peace Treaty. How can you allow this to go on? How can you allow children to be abused and pay tax money for it? How in the world can Ulysses Hernandez be stuffing her face during these crisis times? But that's what she's doing right now.
Not on the agenda. Stick to the agenda items. I'm going to move you to general public comment.
Then we get to CD10, the unelected Heather Cunt Hunt, known as the Cunt Hunt, South Carolina.
All right, general public comment.
Now we get to the general. Now, 2 staffers were arrested, so now we have them working for her father. Her father works for the city controller. So how come we're paying terrorists, Bob, for our city tax dollars to undermine public safety, in addition to the deputy mayor who was indicted? Did you know that the deputy mayor, Brian K. Williams, used the randomizer of Mr. City Attorney and got lucky to get his childhood friend assigned to his criminal case? Let's give him a hand. But some motherfucker stopped it.
Who stopped it? I think Marchese stopped it. I think Marchese's an FBI snitch. I think Marchese's turning on everybody. I think Marchese's behind it all. Marchese, you are a goddamn snitch.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
For the record, Councilwoman Heather Hutt was elected to the City Council and won her election by over 35 points. For the record.
Before the next speaker speaks, I'd like to call up more names. Candido, Angela Jimenez, Christopher Martinez, Jason Jenkins, Dorcia Whitebrake, Sam Wong.
Good morning, Speaker. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
What's up, my homie? What's up, dog? Let's start with item number 3. It's about the alcohol consumption in the Council District 1. I'm not surprised that Council District 1, under the leadership of Hernandez, has the #1 DUI in the city. I am not surprised that she continued to advocate the alcohol use in some sort of a Telegram ballroom, ballroom that where people, kids, young teenagers, or whatever kids hang out on a regular basis. She continued to advocate use of alcohol with underage children. There's no surprise that so many people get killed by the DUI driver because our council member Hernandez continue to encourage either you are a teenager, either you are a kid, if you're an adult, continue to use alcohol instead of saying, hey, let's you consume alcohol a little bit less. Now let's move on to item number 28. Item 28 is about the Rooftop Korean Town Youth and Community Center for a community beautification project. This project is long overdue. Why? Because our council, because our mayor, because our district attorney and our city attorney put all the money to the black neighborhood. That there's no money, no funding for any Korean neighborhood in Korean town. There's no services in Tokyo. There's no services in whatever little Thai town, whatever, because the city council put all the money to supporting Black Lives Matter and all the blacks neighborhood. So this is exactly the definition of racist. So I am here to advocate a rooftop Korean town beautification project because this project was originally initiated in 1992 during the Black Lives Matter riot in 1992. And then right now, 30, 40 years later, you are doing it right now. Too late. Now let's move on to item number 53, which is your favorite city attorney, is about federal immigration.
So item number 53 is not currently open for public comment. This is the regular meeting. So please stick to the agenda items.
All right, no surprise, no surprise. Now let's move on to talking about the street lighting. There are several issues on the agenda item talking about street lighting. And then again, I spoke with Sergeant Duarte numerous times that so many streets on numerous council district 1 that they don't really have a functioning street lighting in the late night. So there's no surprise that some people get run over. There's no surprise, a dog get run over. There's no surprise that a police run over someone or someone run over the police. There's no surprise because you cannot even put the street light on, city attorney. Thank you very much, council president. Continue to Black Lives Matter. Tell me that how does your Black Lives Matter light up your street? Now, let's move on to a general talking about your federal immigration. Yes, I am here to advocate all the Korean community. We stand on the rooftop in 1992. We stand on the rooftop in 2020. And then right now, we are going to stand on rooftop on 2025. We're going to defend our home. We're going to defend our business. We're going to defend our LAPD. We're going to defend all of our federal law enforcement officers. So my grandfather did that on the rooftop. My father did it on the rooftop, and I'm going to do that on the rooftop, and then my kids, my future generation of 3-inch shrimp will do that on the rooftop. So we are not tolerated all of the looter, rioter, and all of your Black Lives Matter nonsense. If you cannot protect me, I will protect myself. If LAPD doesn't care about my safety, I will take care of myself. So all of the rooftop Korea, we are here, we never leave. We are here, rooftop.
Buenos días a todos. Vengo aquí como Perdón, mi nombre es Angelina Jiménez, pertenezco al Distrito 8 y vengo aquí
My
para
name is
apoyar a los
Angelina
inquilinos.
Jimenez. I belong to District 8. I'm here to support the Angelinos.
Estoy de acuerdo con el 3%
I agree with 3%.
y vengo aquí no a hablarle al presidente Macuis, sino vengo a hablarle aquí y pedirle de favor a mi concejal del Distrito 8.
I'm not here to talk to the President Maquis, but I'm here to talk to my council member.
Que por favor nos apoye. No quiero ver más familias en la calle.
Please support us. I don't want to see any more families on the street.
Si yo con una casita que tengo para rentar estoy tratando de apoyar a los inquilinos, ayudarlos en lo más que puedo,
Myself, with a little house that I have and trying to help the tenants with, as much as I can.
no entiendo cómo los demás que tienen un poco más que yo no lo puedan hacer.
I don't understand how many others that have a little bit more than myself cannot do that.
Estoy de acuerdo en que las familias permanezcan en sus casas.
I agree. Families should stay at their homes.
Se los voy a dejar de tarea a todos, por favor, piénsenlo y les doy las gracias de antemano.
I'm going to leave that as homework for all of you. Please think about it and thank you in advance.
Que Dios los bendiga a todos.
May God bless you all.
My name is Christopher Martinez, son of Mexican immigrants. What we see going on at the hands of the current federal administration is horrendous and rooted in racism. The tactics used to identify illegal immigrants is racist. Hispanics are being targeted because of the color of their skin. They're dragged out of their cars, chased, and cornered by agents who are refusing to identify themselves, essentially being kidnapped, all just to meet a federally racist quota. These are extreme tactics used to kidnap mothers, fathers, and grandparents. These people are our neighbors, waiters, chefs, and community pillars. Our community is not safe. I guarantee that if your mother or pregnant wife had their car window broken and were dragged out and arrested by someone who is unidentifiable or did not identify themselves, there wouldn't be a peaceful cell in your body. Dr. King said the riots are the voice of the unheard. As Angelinos, we know we're not at that point yet, and this council could help prevent that. We are the largest and most capable city within the fourth largest economy in the world.
General.
Prayers are just words if not followed with action. I implore you to do whatever you can to combat this. And if you already are, I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time.
All items and general public comment.
Okay, good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
All right, item 29 is calls for giving city funds to the police foundation. So this is the foundation that ostensibly gives donations for stuff that the city isn't funding or things like that. And of course, there's a lot of concerns about those sources of funding too. And any donations in general is a problem. But we have this here, we're giving city funds to the police foundation, taking it from other city funds, and it's a backdoor way of giving more money to the LAPD without making it, and funding all kinds of, frivolous parties that they hold, which is an awful lot of what they, or buying all kinds of military equipment, and it's a backdoor way of doing that without making it look like that the city is actually funding those things. So that's what item 29 seeks to do. So we have a few motions to light up City Hall, which is where you spend $400 to make it look like you're doing something and care about an issue, when really you're doing absolutely nothing about that issue and don't actually care. We light up City Hall. You light up City Hall for North Macedonia, looks like, for a nightclub fire there. But again, we have item 32, which is lighting up City Hall for Pride, while we have a police force, I'll talk about a little bit in a minute here, who is constantly brutalizes, attacks members of the LGBTQ community, kills them like Linda Becerra Moran, things like that. And you've got, what are you doing? What are you doing to protect the LGBTQ community from Trump's continuous attacks on them, on the LGBTQ community. But you'll light up City Hall and make it look like you care when you really aren't doing anything. We have item 33, which is funding for fireworks enforcement and overtime patrols in CD2 for July 4th. So is this where the LAPD is going to go take fireworks, gather them all together, get the press together, and then blow up a neighborhood like they've done before? So this is what they often do when they get fireworks, is they go and they blow up a neighborhood. And that neighborhood the LAPD blew up a few years ago is still recovering from all of that. I think people are still displaced from it. But keep having the LAPD collect more fireworks and keep, and then they can go and blow up a neighborhood, I guess. All right, let's move on to general public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
Okay. I'm glad John Lee's here. What's with your statement, John? What was with your statement the other day? Because you seemed very unconcerned about what's going on, and you seem like you were more concerned about property damage and things like that. What we've got here, and we'll have more time to speak on this later, of course, but what we have here is that Trump has decided to attack LA here with these mass immigration raids, and we've got the National Guard, we've got the Marines coming here, all ordered by Trump to be violent towards protesters. We've got the LAPD firing, what was it? They said like over 400, 600 less lethal munitions over the last few days at people, injuring people, attacking people who just are against what Trump is doing, and what Trump is doing is violence, and you all need to be speaking out more.
My name is John Urquiza. I'm from CD14. I spent the last year as a community organizer, last 10 years as a community organizer, but I'm also a landlord, and I'm here to support the Keep LA House Coalition's recommendation of 3% cap with no floor, no rent banking, no increases for utilities or additional occupants. In my years as a landlord, I've not seen a utility increase that supersedes the 3% cap. You can put them all together and aggregate them, and you still don't reach 3%. So let's keep 3%. It's an unnecessary change. 5% is an automatic eviction for most tenants. Also, I want to speak about the additional occupants. The 10% bump, adding those is non-fair, because in some neighborhoods you have similar buildings where you'll have a $2,800 apartment and an $1,800 apartment, but they're both going to be charged with a 10% bump. I think those need to be negotiated through the lease.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker. So you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. So really pretty quick. As you heard, Councilmember Marquez, we have some small landlords that would like to follow up with you on a meeting. It's just not ACE. There's also other organizations like Scope, Coco, who I know has been reaching out to you in the last 2 weeks. It would be nice to meet with you, council member, to be able to discuss the conversation around the small landlords that you might have doubts. There is a lot of the conversation happening not just in District 8, happening around the city of Los Angeles with different offices. So it would be nice and refreshing to make sure that you can hear from your small landlord constituents that are supporting, something to house tenants and to not create more homelessness. Thank you.
What a terrible morning it is for you. All around the city, the people of Los Angeles have stood up against the mass state-facilitated abductions, and all the while you, the people sitting up here, chose to show your true white supremacism as you sat back and watched as hundreds of cops beat the people of the city. What power you have to command pigs to sit atop horses and literally physically trample people. This city is defending itself against the vile ways you have been collaborating with ICE and immigration enforcement, while your stance has been to double down on behalf of ICE and fire thousands of rubber bullets at the people defending themselves. This is your violence in the streets, but it is underscored by your violence that happens at all hours of every day. While you sit up there talking about a sanctuary city, you greenlight the programs that facilitate mass deportations without you even having to lift a finger. Your automatic license plate readers, fusion centers, and real-time crime centers allow people to be tracked, surveilled, and hunted so that you can focus instead on hiding the violence of the pigs on the street.
Next speaker.
Good morning. My name is Manny Diaz. I'm here to speak in favor of the public convenience and necessity letter for a Type 90 alcoholic beverage control license at the Terragon Ballroom. The Terragon Ballroom has been operating as a music venue at this location since 2014, and that year the planning department approved their CUB request and again approved their subsequent request in 2019. These processes involved extensive reviews of security plans and noise mitigation strategies and involved a great deal of community outreach. I'll also note that the 2 conditional use permit requests received support from the local neighborhood council. As part of the ABC requirement for this license, the applicants noticed every resident within 500 feet. They put in a poster up on the window for 30 days, and there was no comments or opposition made to the ABC for this request. It's important to note that no additional licenses will be added to the neighborhood as a result of this approval. The operations will remain unchanged. It's just a procedural requirement for the PCN because the state legislature hasn't carved out an exception for a PCN letter for that license. Thank you.
My name is Daisy Quinones. I reside in CD1. Sunday at approximately 2:45 p.m., we Latinos gathered to exercise our First Amendment rights. The LAPD pushed on us to leave. They claimed an incitement on us. They popped rubber bullets and tear gas and got aggressive and violent. Law enforcement and the mayor lie, and they say we, the people, particularly brown people, are inciting violence. That's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. You are in this position, all of you, to speak up for us and stop this ongoing oppression. I'm here to tell you that LAPD and news outlets twist the narrative and say we are violent and we are assembled in peace. We are seeing the discrimination with our own very eyes, and we're not dumb. Do something for us. Stand up for us. Thank
Speaker,
you.
your time has expired. Next speaker. Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
What's happening in Los Angeles right now is an occupation. LAPD, backed by mutual aid from departments across the county, has unleashed a counterinsurgency campaign against the people.
Okay, can we pause our time really quick? So, Speaker, you've asked for all items, so I'm going to ask that you stick to the items for the first 3 minutes. You're welcome to speak during general if you'd like. There's also going to be a special meeting for which there will be public comment on this issue as well. So, okay. I apologize. So go ahead. If there are items you'd like to speak to, please do those first before moving to general.
I'll do item 53.
Okay, go ahead.
So in relation to item 50.
You said item 53 is a part of the special agenda. So there will be a separate public comment period for that item later on in the meeting, which you can sign up for if you would like to.
Okay, I'll just do general then right now.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
You tell us LA is a sanctuary city, but how can you call this a sanctuary city when the entire city functions as an information sharing battlefield? LAPD isn't just out in the streets. They're inside our phones, our homes, our networks. They collect field interview cards filled with gang labels and birthplaces, stream live body cam footage and street camera feeds, harvest phones contents with Cellbrite, and track our every movement through ALPRs. All of this feeds into a violent data infrastructure, COPLink, JDIC, NCIC, JRIC, designed to criminalize and cage. Every pixel captured, every record uploaded, every data point analyzed is a weapon. Surveillance is not passive, it is preemptive violence. It builds a case for raids, it builds a map for ICE, and all of you, every single one of you has funded this. You approved the contracts, you voted for the grants, and you rubber-stamped expansion. You're complicit in the construction of a carceral death machine, and every minute you let it run, you're helping disappear our people. You're not neutral, you're not victims of lack of oversight, you're perpetrators of state violence.
I'm going to speak on all items, but start with general comments.
So just to be consistent with the rules, I'm going to ask that you stick with the items first, and then you can move to general if you'd like. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to say that this lecture about being violent is just completely performative. People are never violent. It's the state that is violent. You legislate violence, you fund violence, you operationalize violence, and you enforce violence. So I'll speak my general comment. All right, just cut the rest of the shit. I'll speak on a general comment.
Okay, so 1 minute for general
I'll speak for 1 minute. Because as you're looking at these counterinsurgency operations on the street, what people are not seeing is the 24/7 information sharing environment that is completely completely a false sanctuary city. Shame on the nonprofits, shame on the complicity of the city council for giving the people of Los Angeles false assurances. LAPD on the regular acts as an information gatherer, tracker for DHS, ICE, and FBI. LAPD shares real-time data with federal agencies through fusion centers and Joint Regional Intelligence Center. LAPD arbitrarily labels immigrants as gang-affiliated, which then becomes a basis for federal authorities to detain, banish, and torture them. LAPD reports on individuals through Suspicious Activity Reporting Program, DHS Homeland Security Information Network mobile apps. LAPD participates with federal agencies on a wide range of multi-agency task forces, sharing information and resources that can result in collateral arrest. LAPD acts as an alert for DHS and ICE by sending fingerprints of every person through record management systems, through real-time crime
Speaker,
centers,
your time has
through license
expired.
plate readers,
Next
through
speaker.
social media.
So, Speaker, your time has expired. You are now disrupting this meeting. We can appreciate what you're saying. There will be an opportunity. Speaker, this is your first and only warning. Please do not continue to disrupt this meeting. We have other speakers who have signed up and are waiting. I need you to vacate the podium. There will be another opportunity during the special meeting. Oh, Speaker, this is your second warning. Please do not continue to disrupt this meeting.
General comment?
Good morning. You have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Marquise said that the LAP didn't want the feds here, but they sure scurried over real fast to protect them on their behalf, trampling them with horses, shooting at them, beating them with sticks, tear gassing them. Protesters trying to stop the kidnappings and deportations in a meaningful way, which is more than I can say for any of you useless fucks. But what we are seeing the past few days is just the invisible made visible. LAPD protects ICE, not this community, and they've been doing it for years, collaborating with them via data sharing, with their surveillance and stalking of our citizens, automatic license plates readers, body-worn video, field interview cards, social media surveillance, cell phone readers, suspicious activity reports, all of that uploaded into databases shared with ICE and other federal agencies. Stop LAPD Spying Coalition has it clearly laid out in a recent letter to the Board of Police Commissioners on their website. Funding of LAPD is funding of ICE, and shame on all of you for doing it.
Next speaker.
On city funds going to the Koreatown Youth Community Center, I think that's great. I think youth should have resources. Because oftentimes when the city funds programs for youth, it's to criminalize them. One example is when this council passed through Department of Homeland Security funding for countering violent extremism. Now, right now there's a lot of public outrage around the DHS and how they're being explicitly racist, but they've been racist. They've had frameworks that have been explicitly racist for a while. And I want to highlight, Marquise, if you could just listen real quick. Marquise, this is Marquise. Councilmember Harris-Dawson, please. Council, if you could just listen. This, what I'm talking about has to do with you specifically. So this city council passed through funding to pass through a racist risk assessment program to monitor youth. And the breaking vote was Marquise Harris-Dawson. He was actually the one supporting it. So when we talk about a racist DHS presence in LA, Marquise was the one that ushered the program that targeted youth long before these troops arrived here. And on the funding going from CD5 to the Los Angeles Police Foundation, let's be clear, you know, there's, again, the same kind of liberal outrage, outcry. You guys are sleepy as fuck. You've had your very explicit supporters for this kind of racist violence, McCosker, Lee. Lee needs a cup of coffee, it looks like. But you guys have all supported this time and time again through funding. You know that LAPD has collaborated with DHS, whether through task force or integrated systems. And for you liberals out there, the people that would be progressives, you've touted sanctuary. Where's the sanctuary now? Where is it playing out? You've got troops on the ground. And lastly, I'll just say, LAPD has been lockstep with DHS, ICE, FBI. And this is a fucking sham. I'm glad these halls are empty. I'm really glad nobody's here wasting their fucking time. It's indicative of the fact that nobody believes in you fuckers anymore.
All right, that closes public comment. I'll ask that folks stop disrupting the meeting. We have a woman in the back who continues to shout out, as well as my good friend Hamid. who's leaving.
But in terms of some of the tactics and approaches that are used in dispersing crowds to make sure that we are being as judicious as possible, cautious as possible, have you looked at who's being deployed on some of these front lines to ensure that that training has occurred? Because we dedicated a lot of resources to ensuring that the response is appropriate. And so I don't want us to be further down the line with more liability payouts because we weren't being thoughtful about who we're putting there.
Do you think we're not being thoughtful about this?
I'm asking you.
We are very thoughtful about this. We're putting our people in harm's way every day they go out there.
Chief, I'm
We
asking
take it
the
very
question.
seriously.
Chief, I'm asking the question about, has there been an evaluation of the individuals that are being deployed and that the training has been conducted? And the reason why I ask is I get it, and I understand the tensions are high. But my question is, to protect this city, are we doing that level of evaluation in this process?
Our patrol officers are formed up into mobile field forces to get a rapid deployment when there's an emergency to be able to address the need. They are trained in crowd management, crowd control, on a variety of different fronts. We then bring in Metropolitan Division with specialized assets for crowd management and crowd control, and they're extensively trained for this purpose. So we're doing what we can. We're right in the middle of this now, so to be able to come up with an assessment on this kind of thing, we got to be pretty broad at this point. We're happy to look at all of these issues down the road. But yeah, our people are putting a lot on the line, getting out there and doing what they have to protect the residents of this city. And we put our people, who are probably among the best trained in the United States on police tactics, out there, and they've been doing a tremendous job.
Right. I just want to make sure, because we learned some very tough lessons in the wake of 2020, and we spent a lot of money for additional training that the department determined they needed in order to be better prepared for circumstances just like this.
Right.
So as we're reliving this, I want to make sure that all of those efforts were being exercised as we continue to do that. And that's what I'm asking, because that's going to continue to resurrect.
We have incident management teams now that are deployed, and I'd say I would put them up against anyone in the country or maybe the world as far as their ability, when they're trained together, to come in and manage an incident like this. I've been out there and I've been watching them at the command post, and we now have a unified unified command post with all the other agencies that are involved. And it is exceptionally impressive to watch them in action, what information they have available to them, and what they're doing in a very timely way to be able to get resources rapidly to where they're most needed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we use technology like AI technology to create a situation where your department can identify, hey, there's agents, non-city of LA, in a neighboring town, everyone go on alert in a way where you can support our business community and our immigrant community to know that it's time. That's something related to the lack of due process, the lack of warrants is about to hit our town. I'm asking a creativity question here. What can your department do to do more to warn us, to warn the business community that outside of our LA borders, coming in from Inglewood, coming in from Antelope Valley, I don't know, you can warn us so that we can warn our folks in the spirit of your loyalty to the city of Los Angeles?
So you're asking me to warn you about an enforcement action being taken by another agency before it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Why not?
That would be obstruction of justice. You may want to talk to the city attorney about that.
Where's the city attorney? Aren't they here? I see her officers. Where's she?
We'll hear from the city attorney after we hear from LAPD. We can revisit it then.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, they're en route. We know they're coming. We know they're coming to bring disruption. There's no way that we can know.
I don't know how to even respond to that.
Wasn't she just here? Who took her? Where did she go?
We'll come back. She had to attend to some other business, but we can come back. We'll give you the opportunity to ask her
Well,
that
I need
question
to know.
directly.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're not gonna broadcast for, like, the FBI is looking for a terrorist suspect, say, right? Are we gonna tell, hey, the FBI is coming looking for you?
Yeah, but see, there's a difference between
Yeah, there's a
someone's
difference,
coming
but I'm
because they're
using
gonna,
that-
go get.
I'm using that as an example, but no, we're not allowed to do that. That would be completely inappropriate and illegal.
Is she coming?
She'll come later. She'll come after. We will hear from her after we hear from the chief.
But seeing LAPD, what appears to give safe passage to ICE on Friday, does not help the situation. It builds distrust from the community with LAPD. And I get it. You can respond to that if you want, but You're going to say, we don't engage in it. I'll finish in a minute.
Sure.
We don't engage in that. But it's the perception that matters. It is the feelings that matter from the people of Los Angeles. To see a reporter get shot with a rubber bullet, what appeared to be on live television, does not add to the de-escalation. We have to be mindful of the tactics that are being used by some LAPD members that is adding to the de-escalation, because that is taking away from the goal of keeping families together. Just like a few protesters can take away from the messaging, the same thing can be said by LAPD. It overshadows the response. So I just want people to remember that in this moment, everybody as a city has to live by our values and keep our eyes on the prize. We are fighting a white nationalist president that would like nothing better than to come into our city and deport our people. And we have to use everything in our power to fight against that. And we also have to be on message, use the teachings of the civil rights movement, lead with nonviolent, direct action. It doesn't mean we have to be passive, but we can be bold and we can be confrontational, but nonviolent. We cannot give the people of the city, we cannot give the opening that they are looking for. We need to do everything to fight for our folks. And that, Mr. Chief McDonald, you also have a responsibility with the people that you oversee.
Absolutely. And we take that very seriously. And anything that you've mentioned and other things that we become aware of, we investigate them. We do that better than any other department in the country, holding our people accountable to a very high standard. And that goes for the time we're in right now. But we're in day 4 of a very difficult time. So to be able to give you specific answers about any of these, I'll have to wait on that.
And I'll have more comments and questions in closed session.
Okay.
Thank you, Council President. I want to be very clear before I ask my questions. The folks that I'm about to ask about are not the peaceful protesters. These are the chaos agents who do not care about our city or immigrants or our communities. 23 businesses trashed, looted, people ripping up our sidewalks, our infrastructure, smashing and burning cars. I shudder to think what it's going to cost those businesses, what it is currently costing taxpayers to respond to this, and what it is going to cost us to clean up this mess when these demonstrations come to an end. So, Chief, if this conduct, the criminal conduct, right, not the free speech conduct, the criminal behavior, the looting, the vandalizing, and the violence, if that continues into a 5th night, what is our plan to stop it? We understand the strain on your resources and all of the issues that causes in other places. We're grateful for the activation of our mutual aid partners, right, but this is not sustainable. Right. So what is the plan to put an end to the chaos?
Yeah, not something I would talk about in open session.
Thank you.
And I want to thank my colleague, Councilmember Soto-Martinez, for his comments, particularly around what is being seen. We're constantly getting videos illustrating different actions taken by LAPD that just seem out of line for the situation. My colleague talked about the reporter. I have lawyers posting up videos of them getting shot. I've seen videos of non-lethals being fired at protesters over 50 yards away on the other side of barriers. I have lots of questions, but I can get into those later. What I just want to say is that the Constitution is the supreme law of our land. And in this moment, the federal government is violating our Constitution, our rights as a sovereign city and state. And we have to be very careful. Rules for thee, but not for me. And if they are not following the law and the rules, it feels inappropriate to follow the rules that enable their actions here. So I just wanted to uplift that if we have to think about the Constitution, and we can't be abiding by the rules when they are not. And I'm not saying we break the rules, but we have to figure out then how do we move differently so that we are protecting Angelenos from the violation of their constitutional rights. And I would also like to even think about other tactics. I know we're going to speak in closed session later, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Thank you.
And then a thornier part, and I know this is thorny for you, Chief, and for the department, but it is a request I would put forward. If we know somebody's coming here to do warrantless abductions of the residents of this city, those people aren't our partners. They're just not. I don't care what badge they have on. I don't care whose orders they're under. They are not our partners. And sure, we have to protect the streets. I'm not objecting to anything that you did. I'm objecting to the characterization of them as law enforcement partners, because they may be partners with other people, they ain't partners with us. And I want to be super, super clear about that. Again, just distinguishing who's who in this moment. You have a job to do and you have to respond to calls. I get that, and I'm not criticizing that. But to refer to those people who are carrying out those openly unconstitutional activities, those are not our partners. And with that, I'll go to Mr. Lee before we go to closed session.
Mr. Herman, which items do you want to speak on?
I said simplify.
Which items do you want to speak on, Mr. Herman?
Fucking items.
Go ahead.
Simplify fucking faggots. The federal immigration enforcement is an action by Donald Trump. Trump, Trump, Trump. And we need enforcement to keep the little cheerleaders and the big fat burger butts and that Gerardo and her 2 terrorist staff from bringing down this country. If you're here illegally, get naturalization. If not, then you're doing something illegally according to the law. And I am the magistrate of the law, Sambos. And you Uncle Toms, you're gonna bail down to the new order. Trump. Then look at item number 54, motherfuckers. I'll read it into the record, word per word. Motherfucking council may recess to a closed fucking session on the day labor sweatshops with no benefit session to discuss what they're receiving advice from the fucking legal department. That fucking, what's her name? Howdy? What's her name? Pumpkinhead. Yeah. So, in pursuit to California government code section of the Brown Act 54956, motherfuckers, under D for dicks like you, Mr. Attorney. Don't take it disrespectfully. I'm only addressing the D in parentheses. As you may know, D-I-C-K stands for
So
dick.
you're off topic, Mr. Herman. Please get back on topic.
Now, going back onto the litigation on those 3 litigations, 42 U.S.C. 1983 polite. Fuck you, white motherfucking niggas. I represent this country. Donald Trump and the government represent. You motherfuckers, local government. Go.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. Next speaker. Mr. Spindler, which items do you want to speak on?
Well, I can speak and all the items.
Okay, you have
take
2
up
minutes. Please
in
begin.
General comment. So we got here federal immigration enforcement. Wow, they send people from the ICE. Dum 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 dum. ICE, ICE, baby, they all here. ICE, ICE, baby, do you have your paperwork? If you don't, you're gonna be like Hamburger Hernandez. You're gonna be left without a cheeseburger or hope. You're gonna be taken by a van and then taken down by the river and deported. Is that what you want? You want to be deported, Unisys? You want to be deported, Husabel? How about you, Stalin? You want to be deported? How about Tracy Park? Does she want to be deported? How about Kern Price? You want to be deported? Yes, you do, Kern Price. You'd like to be deported so you can avoid prison. And then we get over to this motherfucking 54 regarding a secret initiation of litigation. 3 potential cases. Number 1, you're going to try to sue to stop ICE. Number 2, you're going to sue to stop the public from ever coming back here. And number 3, you're going to sue to have Unisys Hernandez put on a special diet to lose 100 pounds. So I support all 3 of these motherfuckers. You got to go to the federal court. You got to get outside counsel. And then you got to vote on this shit. And that little fucking goat herder, Adrian Azarian, knows how much it's going to cost. So again, everybody, Django Unchained is running it. Fuck your mothers. I wish they all had abortion.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. And the last and final speaker, please.
I would like to speak on all items and
So
general
that's
public comment.
So it's only the 2 items now for the closed session. So you have 2 minutes. Please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you, Council President Nuri Martinez. So item number 53, I am here to voice my support to our federal immigration law enforcement, because in the city, under the management of our city attorney, there's no such thing called a law and order. And then all of those illegals can just go on the street and break the window, break the car, and then damage, attack other people, assault, burn the police car. By the way, City Attorney, I want to ask you, since the federal immigration take action, how many police cars are being burned? Actually, I want to ask you, because you don't even know, and then you do not want to know because you never care about public safety. So I am here to support our federal law enforcement, our local law enforcement, and hopefully we will continue to catch all those illegal gangbangers. Now, move on to item number 54. Is about 3 potential initiation of the lawsuit by our city attorney's office. Yes, I am not surprised because our city attorney will sue the federal immigration law enforcement, because our city attorney are saying that if you are illegal in the LA, you are perfect. If you are legal in LA, you are the criminal. So actually our city attorney believe actually the backward. So I understand that a city attorney wants to sue the President Trump, to sue the DHS, to sue the ICE, to sue the HSI, but I want to make my message loud and clear. No matter city attorney, how many people you sue, we always stand on the rooftop to stand in solidarity with our federal, local law enforcement, that we have our First Amendment, we have our Second Amendment to defend our life, to defend our property, to defend our safety. Thank you very much, LAPD.
Thank you.
All right, that closes public comment.